Hi guy here, thank you for joining us again. Go ahead and check out part 1 to this video if you haven't. This is the Honshu Broadsword or Bastard Sword. Two-handed sword, very, very sturdy. Has a decent weight to it, but the balance is incredible with this blade. I'll be doing a follow-up review video after I've done some more cutting today. So go ahead and check that out also. Just going to follow up and try to do another cut the other way to see. I've added another bottle on roughly the same thickness to see if I can cut through 6 bottles now, or 5.5. One of them is a smaller bottle. But anyway, that being said, one of the things to note about this particular piece, sorry I'm sweating all over the place, it's getting a little hot out here. I've been out here for a while cutting with all this gear on, but I feel, you know, it's one of my favorite ways to do it, you know, kind of authentic, I guess. One of the things to note about this piece is it has a good weight to it, which is going to command some serious authority in those cuts, which is great. You know, the blade is very thick, which I think is great just to keep it nice and sturdy. If you can see it this way, blade is very, very thick. I pointed that out a few times. I'm going to point it out again. As far as you know, some functionality on a practical standpoint, I was carrying it around. I was definitely knocking into stuff. So that's one of the drawbacks with a long sword like this in general. You will be knocking into stuff. Other drawback that I could say is it's, you know, it's heavy. It's got some weight to it. So you know, that can definitely be a drawback for some people. But if it gets the job done, that's a good plus. And this is definitely getting the job done. Where most of my smaller swords have failed in similar tests, swords that would definitely be more favorable for carrying, lighter for hiking, etc., tactical or survival style stuff, as well as just lighter medieval style swords. They generally don't have the force because they lack the mass to follow through with enough energy, you know, through you know, that many bottles or that much mass. All right, so I think this one has got what it takes. So you know, it was giving me some challenges on thicker plastic. I don't feel like it's the sharpest blade in the world at the moment. Maybe I could reprofile it, but just the cleaving potential. Let's see if I could try to follow up on this one. Not quite. I went through the first bottle. Looks like I got through the second one. Did I penetrate here? No, not really. I finished off that last bit of wild cuts with a thrust. So let's go right into the thrust test. I don't foresee myself getting through all these bottles, but I'm definitely going to try. There you have it. What do you think? Very impressive. Yep, blade's pretty thick, so it's definitely stuck in there. Good thing to keep in mind with a sword like this. Whoop. And I even hit some wood, some hard wood there. Definitely not always recommended, you know. Well, I'm going to move these to the front, and we're going to try a thrust from the other side of the body, from my left side. This thrust I just performed was from the right side. Now we're going to try from the left. Alright, so I got roughly about the same distance there, you can see, of penetration. That is pretty impressive. So far, the only other thing I've tested that's had penetration like this is the San Angelo bar in my Zompocalypse video. And that's not even really a dedicated weapon. But it is meant for breaking concrete, I believe, so. Alright, let's see if I can get my sword back. Alright. Pulling the sword out of the stone, eh? How about pulling the sword out of the bottle? Alright, let's try one-handed. I mentioned in the last video this is a decent one-handed sword to use. Makes for a decent one-handed. Alright. There you have it. Alright, so far, no issues to the blade or tip for that matter. You see that there. We just go along the whole blade there for you. No damage whatsoever. I haven't been cutting with down here at all. I even accidentally scraped the wood on my stand, and no damages to the blade. Everything still feels nice and solid. Nothing loosening up. That's a good sign. I'm going to try a test that's a little bit harder now. Full disclaimer. You don't really want to do tests like this on your sword. They're not really considered the best. I still do them anyways, like I always say. I like to really test my swords. You know, you may go against a hard target, maybe against some armor, like what I'm wearing, or something even more heavy duty than what I'm wearing. You know, you don't want a blade that's going to fail on you, I feel. So, or a weapon. So, you know, we're going to do a little test. I'm just going to give it some taps. Just to, you know, see. Flip around to the other side. Alright. And you can see here, on either side, there's no denting to the edge, no rolling of the blade, no chipping, nothing. Blade is still pretty solid. Alright. I'm going to give it a nice little two-handed taps now. Alright. So, just you see pieces of wood on there, but no damage to this blade whatsoever. All nice and solid, still ready to go, man. Still trying to figure out exactly where the center of percussion is on this. Somewhere up here. I'll get back to you on that. But let's cut some more bottles, see how much of sharpness we retained. Alright, this was a strike that I was struggling with before, but for some reason it feels awesome when using this sword. That is a nice horizontal strike. Let's see what I could do. So, still hits with enough force to explode the bottle and to chop in. You'll see I have a nice cut running right along here, and it exploded up here. Alright. Well, like I mentioned in part 1 of this video, I'm going to be doing a more in-depth review now that I've used this sword a little bit more. So I'll be making that soon coming up. Go ahead and check that one out when I you know, do a post-usage functional review. What I can say so far is, man, this thing speaks for itself. Cost effective. It's not the most expensive piece for a slightly higher, and normally I do really, really cheap weapons on the channel. Just for fun, you know. I feel a lot more justified in destroying cheap stuff than, you know, nice pieces like this. But this definitely did not get destroyed. That's most important. Yeah, we'll be doing some more with this soon. Let me know what you think of this piece once again. This is the Honshu Broadsword. Alright, as well as I showed in part 1 some cut and thrust with the dagger. That'll be coming up soon. Let me know what you think of this piece. This is the Honshu Crusader dagger. Let me know if you want to see some more functional cut and thrust tests. You know, maybe even a little bit of torture testing like we just did. So if you get the opportunity to get one for yourself, you know, not a bad idea. You're really not going to regret it. Alright? They say sometimes swords that are a little more difficult to cut with, especially as far as sharpness is concerned, is sometimes better to teach you proper form. I feel like I'm getting the hang of it. I feel with some more practice I could definitely do better. I mentioned reprofiling the edge. Probably going to try to do that, sharpen it up a little more, and come back at it and do some more cut and thrust tests with it after I've done some of my own work on it. One of the things about doing your own work, this thing has a, you know, little easy hex bit screw that you could pull out. Takes the whole sword apart. You know, that's really great for maintenance. Not to mention, I'm surprised that it hasn't shaken loose, being that it's not, you know, peened in, you know, like once attempting to be one solid construction. So it's done really well. I'm very impressed. Big thanks to Honshu out there for putting this one out there, and big thanks to you for watching. This is Night Guy again. Thank you for joining us.